Imagine a land sacred to three world religions embroiled in a conflict that has lasted over a century. Welcome to the Israel-Palestine conflict, a deeply rooted, long-lasting issue that cuts across the veins of religion, ethnicity, and nationalism. It's a complex, multifaceted dispute with no simple solutions at hand. A tangle of historical narratives, political ideologies, and religious beliefs, it's a quagmire that has stumped peacemakers for generations. This is the reality of the Israel-Palestine conflict, a dispute that has shaped the course of history and continues to do so. To understand this conflict, we need to turn back the clock and explore its origins. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a movement known as Zionism emerged. Zionism advocated for the establishment of a Jewish state in the land of Israel, a response to centuries of persecution and the desire for a homeland. During this period, the British took control of Palestine under the British Mandate. One significant moment was the Balfour Declaration of 1917, where Britain expressed support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This announcement led to increased immigration of Jewish people to Palestine. However, this influx was not welcomed by the Arab majority residing in Palestine, who saw this as a threat to their own national aspirations. This led to increased tensions between the Jewish immigrants and the Arab Palestinians. As tensions rose, so did violence, culminating in the 1947 United Nations Partition Plan. The Partition Plan sparked a series of significant events that have shaped the conflict. Let's delve into some of these key moments. Our first major event is the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, also known as the War of Independence or Nakba, depending on which narrative you follow. This war erupted following the creation of Israel, with neighboring Arab countries launching an assault against the newly formed state. The result was a victory for Israel, but it also led to a mass displacement of Palestinian Arabs, a contentious point that echoes till today. Fast forward to 1967, we arrive at the Six-Day War, a brief but intense conflict that dramatically changed the landscape of the Middle East. Israel, in a preemptive strike, managed to defeat the combined forces of Egypt, Jordan, and Syria. In just under a week, Israel claimed control over the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, East Jerusalem, the Golan Heights, and the Sinai Peninsula. This occupation has been a central issue in the conflict, with Palestinians and the international community calling for an end to Israeli control over these territories. In 1993, hope for a peaceful resolution surfaced with the signing of the Oslo Accords. These agreements, signed by then Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin and Palestine Liberation Organization Chairman Yasser Arafat, aim to establish a framework for future negotiations. However, the optimism was short-lived, as both sides accused the other of failing to uphold their commitments. The turn of the millennium witnessed the Second Intifada, a period of intensified Palestinian-Israeli violence. It began in 2000 after a visit by Ariel Sharon, the then opposition leader in Israel, to the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in Jerusalem, a site revered by both Muslims and Jews. This period, marked by suicide bombings and military operations, further deepened the mistrust and hostility between Israelis and Palestinians. These events have left an indelible mark on the region, fueling the conflict to this day. From the displacement of people to territorial disputes, the struggle for peace continues, with these historical events providing the backdrop for the ongoing conflict. Fast forward to the present, where the conflict continues to evolve. The land, once a shared homeland, is now divided by walls, checkpoints, and differing narratives. Let's delve into the current issues. Settlements are a significant concern, with Israeli settlers establishing communities in areas considered by many to be Palestinian land. This creates tension and results in frequent clashes. Then there's the status of Jerusalem, a city sacred to both Jews and Muslims. Both parties claim it as their capital, leading to bitter disputes. The Gaza blockade imposed by Israel has been heavily criticized for its impact on the Palestinian economy and living conditions. It's a situation that has led to despair and occasional flare-ups of violence. Recent escalations of violence have only served to further entrench the divide, each side viewing the other as the aggressor. The Israel-Palestine conflict remains one of the most enduring and contentious issues of our time. In the maze of history and politics, a few key points stand out. The Israel-Palestine conflict has roots in divergent nationalisms and religious ties to the land, further complicated by key events like the Balfour Declaration and the Six-Day War. Today, issues such as settlements, borders, and the status of Jerusalem continue to fuel this enduring dispute. Understanding these points is the first step towards understanding the Israel-Palestine conflict, a challenge that continues to shape our world.